Take it away.
Thank you, Jamie. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Today, we're going to be discussing the THRIVE Technical Assistance Program. We're happy that you're able to join us today and that you're able to be here to join us. The portal opened on June 26, 2023 for business consultants and coaches looking to apply for the RFPs available to provide consulting services to local small businesses that are the beneficiaries of the program. I'm joined today by Teresa Benincasca, Program Manager for the Department of Economic Initiatives of Fairfax County, and Jamie Goucher, Division Manager for the Department of Economic Initiatives of Fairfax County. Welcome all. Just to go over today's agenda, we're going to do brief introductions of the THRIVE and have an overview of the THRIVE program. We're going to review the THRIVE request for proposals. We're going to review the RFP timeline. We're going to discuss the business coaching RFP. We're going to review the proposal requirements, how to apply through the THRIVE portal. We're going to review the Form A, how to submit your proposal, how to get help with your application, and lastly, we're going to close with questions. Fairfax County Department of Economic Initiatives, DEI, leads programs and initiatives to foster economic development and position Fairfax County to be an economically competitive and prosperous community for all. This program is brought to you by the Fairfax County government. Fairfax County Board of Supervisors authorized $7 million in ARPA federal funds to establish the THRIVE program. Fairfax County THRIVE is managed by the Fairfax County Department of Economic Initiatives. THRIVE was created to address an immediate need for businesses that have been impacted by COVID-19. The program is designed to empower local small businesses, the beneficiaries of the program, and provide targeted one-on-one technical assistance in different areas of needs, such as marketing, operations, and financial planning. Fairfax County small businesses that have been negatively impacted by the pandemic may apply to qualify and receive non-cash technical assistance services grants that are valued at up to $10,000. The goal of the program is to help small businesses build capacity and meet individual business goals, address economic and consumer shifts, and support business planning. LEDC is the contractor and administrator for the program THRIVE. We'll be managing the request for proposals. The RFPs will be the contractors for the business coaches and business consultants, and we'll be reviewing and managing the small business applications and eligibility. Just a little bit about us. We're a nonprofit institution, and our mission is to drive the economic and social advancement of low to moderate income families in the DC metropolitan area by equipping them with the skills and tools they need to achieve financial independence. We're able to achieve our mission by providing free services to the community, such as providing technical assistance for small businesses and microloans through our small business program. And through our housing program, we offer pre-purchase education and foreclosure prevention services. As we continue on with the presentation, we'd like you to consider the following. You may place your questions in the chat box throughout the presentation. Questions will be answered during the designated time slot at the end of the presentation. Questions that are not answered today will be addressed and included in our FAQ section of our site. And the presentation's recording will be made available on the Fairfax County THRIVE website. The THRIVE portal is now open for offers interested in applying to be contracted as a business consultant or a business coach. You can visit our website at LEDC Metro by clicking on the Programs tab and choosing Direct Community Investments and choosing THRIVE Small Business Technical Assistance Grant Program. You'll find all 4 RFPs available for viewing, and it's so important that you take time to view them ahead of time so you prepare as best as possible when you start your application through the portal. As much as you can complete outside of the portal, it'll be easier and a smoother transition for you to complete the application through the portal. The RFPs provide all the information you need to know and are very detailed, so please make sure you read them thoroughly prior to beginning the application. The 4 available RFPs are for business coaching, financial planning, marketing, and operations. This is the THRIVE program timeline overview. The portal opened June 26. It opened for business consultants and business coaches. The portal will close August 4th, 2023 at 5 p.m. So that is the application deadline. During early fall of 2023, business consultants and business coaches will be selected. And during mid-fall, THRIVE Technical Assistance Grant opens to Fairfax County small business applicants. So who are we seeking and who should apply? Businesses or nonprofits that have been operating their current organization for at least 2 years from the date of submission. They do not have to be located in Fairfax County. Some of the preferred that we are looking for is for businesses that can demonstrate experience serving small businesses and or minority-owned, women-owned, or veteran-owned small businesses. We're looking for businesses that can demonstrate experience coaching in the areas of marketing, financial planning, and or operations is a plus. We're looking for offers that may opt to include information about staff capacity to assist with translation with their proposals, but it will not be considered an advantage, nor will it be evaluated. Some RFPs consideration. Offers that are interested in applying for this RFP, we recommend that you consider the following. Offers may apply to one or multiple RFPs. However, offers will only be contracted to provide services as either a business consultant or a business coach. Today's webinar is going to be focused on the business coaching RFP. There was a separate webinar that was conducted yesterday for the business consulting RFPs that was held yesterday, and both webinar presentations will be made available on the Fairfax County website. Let's review now. Let's take a look now at the available RFP for the business coaching. Business coaching RFP, this is a business-to-business opportunity for local nonprofits and for-profit businesses. We're currently accepting responses to RFPs for business coaching services between June 26th through August 4th, 2023. Approximately $200,000 in funding is available to serve 500 small businesses. Successful offers will be offered a 1-year contract. So if you do want to start your application and you do want to be a part of the program, we recommend that you start your application soon. For the business coaching RFP, coaches will be responsible for two main deliverables to support small businesses, the beneficiaries, to serve the THRIVE program. The first deliverable that the coaches will be responsible for is for the development of the beneficiary plan of THRIVE Business Consulting Services. And the second deliverable will be the verification and closeout of the beneficiary scope of services. Some key activities that business coaches will be responsible for in completing the two main deliverables will include, but are not limited to, the following activities. 1, business coaches will review and analyze the results of the THRIVE business assessments and identify beneficiaries' critical business needs. Counsel, they will be responsible for to provide counsel to THRIVE small business beneficiaries on areas of improvements. Coaches will recommend relevant group training and educational opportunities, and they will be responsible for matching small businesses to THRIVE Business Consulting Services. Coaches will be responsible as well for providing assistance to beneficiaries in completing templates for their work plan of services. They'll be responsible for coordinating and attending an initial meeting between the beneficiaries, small businesses, and selected business consultants. And business coaches will check in with beneficiaries and business consultants as needed. Business coaches will also be responsible for coordinating and attending a closeout meeting between the beneficiaries, the small businesses, and consultants. I'm joined now by Teresa Benicasca, Program Manager for the Department of Economic Initiatives of Fairfax County, and Jamie Goucher, Division Manager for the Department of Economic Initiatives of Fairfax County. I'm going to turn it over to them now. Welcome.
Thanks, Maria. Welcome, everyone. We're at this stage of the presentation, we're going to take a little bit of a closer look at the actual RFP requirements to try to help you prepare your application. What you see here in this chart is basically a description of the key components of any business coaching RFP. A complete application will ask you to provide contact information, acknowledge the terms and conditions of this opportunity, describe your qualifications and experience, tell us how you plan to deliver the services that we're seeking support for. We'd also like to get a little bit of background from you by providing the resumes of the business coach that you anticipate engaging, a demonstration, an example of work, proof of capability in this area before that you've worked with, along with a list of businesses, example businesses that you've served. There is one required form that we're going to ask you to download from the portal and complete, and that is basically a good standing requirement attestation form. As Maria mentioned, just a general tip, as many of you who might have done proposals before, basically, there's a little bit of a written response we're going to be asking you under qualifications and service delivery. If you want to start gathering up your information when you arrive at the portal and you start using the portal, basically it's designed to be very easy for you to upload your documents and move to a submission. Next. As I mentioned before, the next 12 slides, we're going to sort of take you through some of the little bit of more detail on these specific components, as well as show you a snapshot of the portal and maybe a few portal navigation tips. LEDC will also make available perhaps some videos, additional videos on portal navigation, but it's a very effective portal to use, and you will also be able to get assistance through a chat function while you're applying. Next. So to get started, basically, some of you might have already done this. You're going to create an account on the portal with your email. This account is something you can use to access your application, return, save, and join, and return and complete going forward. You also can use the same account if you decide to apply for more than one RFP in this project. We'll be looking for you to get started by completing contact information. Please note that while you or members of your team might contribute to developing an application, the proposal itself must be submitted by an authorized representative of the organization. We're looking, as Maria mentioned, for organizations that have been established for at least 2 years as applicants. We also want to encourage you to take a look at the terms and conditions and acknowledge that you've reviewed them at this stage. Successful offerors will be expected to, in the contract, these will be included in any contract with LADC going forward. You can find these terms and conditions at the bottom of the RFPs under appendices. And these terms and conditions are related to the fact that this program is being funded by American Rescue Plan Act funds. And so that is part of the reason there are some additional terms and conditions. Next. So this is a beginning snapshot of what the portal looks like if you haven't had a chance to get in. Essentially, you can see a banner at the top, makes it really easy to figure out where you are. It basically has 4 components. Right now, we're on the contact information. Essentially, what the other tip we want to offer is that the edit button in this portal is key. Edit allows you to populate and respond to the fields. It activates the fields. So it's a good tip to know. Next. Also, another useful tip, keeping in mind, is that you will be continuously clicking the save button as you move forward. Once you complete a particular section or you've uploaded documents, you want to hit save, and it will prompt you then to move to the next stage of the application. Next. The next part of the banner you might want to pay attention to is the actual, what we're calling RFP and forms. This is just a repository, again, of the 4 RFPs, which you can download. In addition, we have one required form for this application, the attestation of good standing that we mentioned before. You can find it here, download it, and submit it with your application. I should also mention, for those that haven't set up an account, we've also published these RFPs on the websites as well. So if you just want to take a look at them before you even get started. Next. So the first area that we'd like to learn more about you is your organizational qualifications and experience. And here we're really looking for what the basics. We want to understand who your organization is. We'd like to get a better feel for your experience in this space. If you have experience with small businesses or diverse business owners, please let us know. Tell us what your experience is. Very important. We'd like to just hear a little bit about your organization's capacity to take on businesses. How many do you expect that you might be able to serve weekly or monthly if you're contracted through Thrive? And tell us a little bit about what makes you different or special from other offers. And again, you would write this up, and then you would, as Maria has indicated on the slide here, you would upload your document here. I should also mention, we have, for the written sections, we are asking you to keep them to page limits. So please take a note of those. In the case of qualifications and experiences, please keep your response to 2 pages or less. Next. For the business coaching, we're also going to ask you to provide a description of how you plan to respond to the statement of needs for the role of the coach in this program, and how are you going to help us deliver a quality service for our Thrive beneficiaries. We'd like to hear a little bit more how you do business and how you expect to do business. Do you plan to provide services in person or virtually? Do you have some staff in mind? Can you tell us who they are and what their role might be in this project? Again, sole proprietors are also encouraged. If it's you, just let us know what your plan is. We also would like to know a little bit about how you communicate with your clients. Tell us about what that communication and what we can expect in working with you on this project. An optional category, again, very important to recognize, this is not a requirement to apply for the business coaching. But if by chance your organization has staff with multilingual capabilities, please let us know. This is information that would be used in the future if you're a successful offerer, that perhaps we could refer a business with that staff capability for language translation if it's needed by a particular client. Next. So we'll also be asking for 3 supporting documents. We'd like to see the resumes of any staff engaged that you're considering engaging on the business coaching. We'd like to, we'd like to see an example of work in this space. This is a very wide open category. As you can see, we'll take business plans, sample scopes of work, any examples of work product. We also would like to see a list of sample businesses that you have served in the past. Again, as Maria mentioned, very easy to upload, basically prepare and upload these documents. Next. This is the required form for the business coaching RFP. As we mentioned before, this is a form, an attestation that is prepared specifically for this application that attests that your organization is in good standing to conduct business in the state of Virginia. We are not requiring additional forms. This is the form that you need to do to complete this requirement. Next. So just a couple navigational tips here. Essentially what I'm trying to demonstrate here is that there are checklists provided throughout the portal. What I want to note here in particular is you'll notice here that when you have yet to do the work, the portal will indicate through a red checkbox. Here you see, and I know it's a little difficult to see, but it'll be a little bit less difficult when you're in the portal. You'll be able to see the specific sections that they're expecting you to upload. Here it indicates that this is yet to be done. And I should also note that the section letters that are indicated do match the actual RFP document. So it should be easy to move from the document to what we're asking. Next. Well, you're wrapping up your application here, and as you can see, red check marks have moved to green, indicating that this applicant is ready to go. They have completed all the required sections, and at this stage, they might be thinking they're ready to submit. For those of you that like to check your work before you submit, please note that you will need to check each section independently, as opposed to getting a one complete PDF, but all of your work is easily checked by just going back if you want to look at a particular section and ensure that the document you intended to upload was uploaded correctly. Next, ready to submit. So ready to submit involves basically reviewing the attestation listed here that you agree with the terms, and the signature, the person who's authorized to sign, you're confirming that that indeed has been reviewed by that person, and also essentially now you're ready to submit. So in the case of this particular portal, please note you will get a pop-up box that says, are you ready to submit? It will remind you that once your application is submitted, you cannot make changes, not cannot really, you cannot. And I think the only other thing to mention is that in the case of this particular portal, it will prompt you to submit, but you'll actually be using the save button to submit. I also want to mention that you will receive an email confirmation that your proposal has been submitted. Next. So what happens? You've taken the time to put together an evaluation, a proposal. There is LEDC will be organizing a review of the proposals. Here are the 3 criterion that the evaluators will be looking for in selecting the vendors for this program. Essentially, we are looking for organizational experience, as we discussed before. We're looking for responsiveness to the RFP in terms of how you plan to work within the THRIVE program to provide the fulfill the role we're asking for business coaching. And we'll look at also any supporting documents you provide. Next. So at this stage of the game, the timeline that we envision for future communication will be all offers will receive notification in early fall. Those that were successful will be invited to sign a contract with LEDC. There will be an orientation and administrative requirements training for those that are contracted with this program, so you can familiarize yourself with the larger program. And this is what I want to take a moment to say, that successful applicants are part of a larger county-wide program here that will be supported by Fairfax County, promoted by Fairfax County, and essentially the business development for this program will be supported by LEDC and Fairfax County, driving businesses to this program, and business coaches will basically be referred those candidates that are eligible to participate. So it's an exciting opportunity to be part of a larger network here in the county, and an opportunity to make a difference for our small business community after the pandemic, as everyone is trying to grow and recover and thrive. So also there will be a very efficient, you will be paid upon successful completion of your service on the number of clients that you serve. Next. And so we don't want any kind of problems getting help with your application to be a barrier to your applying. So essentially what you have here is, go to the LEDC portal, all the information's there. The link is there. And when you start applying, you can get support from a live chat. If you have questions now, you can go ahead and forward them to the THRIVE RFP web email address. And then all of the information is also available on the Fairfax County website, including the webinars that are being held right now and yesterday, FAQs, and additional information. Next. So as you can see, we're all pretty excited about this program, and we hope you are too. So in addition to your consideration as an applicant, we encourage you to help us spread the word through your networks and organizations. We are looking for a lot of vendors in this program, and we want to get the word out. So please help us promote this opportunity. It is time sensitive, so we really appreciate that. And that concludes our program, our presentation. So at this stage, I'm going to turn it over to program manager for at LADC, Laura Bentley, to tell us a little bit more about questions and handle any questions that you may have about this application. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa, and welcome again, everyone. Thank you so much for attending and for your attention to the presentation. We're going to go over a couple of the questions that have come through here. We're going to try to focus on those that are general to all listeners and see, as time permits in volume. But please know, as Teresa mentioned as well, you can definitely reach out to us via email or through the portal chat as well for any particular situations that you want to talk through with us. And we will also be publishing an FAQ again for any questions that we're not able to answer at this time during the presentation, so you can have that for reference as well. To go over a couple that we have gotten in, we have a question here that asks, will we anticipate contracting multiple offerors under the business coaching RFP? And so, as Teresa has mentioned, we are looking to have this be a robust program with enough support from business coaches in order to serve the 500 businesses that we have allocated to receive coaching. So we anticipate that we may contract with multiple offerors. Of course, the final selection will be determined based on the evaluation committee review and determination. We have another question here. Will the coach be responsible for creating the template for the beneficiary's plan of services used to engage the consultant? So as we mentioned in the response to this question, there will be a template that is provided for this document, and that will be provided by the THRIVE program. It's one that will be supplied by the program administrator, so LADC, but it's been developed in collaboration with the county. And so this is a template that you'll be able to complete as a coach, and that will answer all of the information needed there. Another question we have is, we had mentioned group training in the RFP, and the question is, who is providing that training? So to clarify, the group trainings are not going to be provided by the business coaches. That's not a deliverable as part of this contract. The group trainings for the small business beneficiaries will be conducted by program administrator, LADC. We have a question: if the small business beneficiary requests service area assistance by 2 separate consultants, that does not, of course, exceed the 10K in aggregate, would that be considered 2 separate coaching engagements? The answer is that there is 1 coaching engagement per beneficiary. So that will allow kind of for a holistic experience for that beneficiary, 1 coach's engagement per beneficiary. We have a question: are in-person meetings required under the business coaching RFP, or are virtual meetings also acceptable? The answer is both in-person and virtual meetings are acceptable. That would be something that could be determined what works best for you as a coach and your client as well, to work in harmony there. But both in-person and virtual meetings are acceptable. We have a question regarding the business assessment tool that's going to be filled out by the beneficiaries. So when the small business applicants go into their portal, this is later in the fall, to complete their application and have the application reviewed, at that point in time, they will also be completing a standardized business assessment that's been developed for THRIVE. And at the point in time that those applicants are deemed to be eligible beneficiaries, and they are assigned to the coaches, at that point in time, the coach will be able to view in their own kind of coaching portal the business assessments for all of their referred beneficiaries. So you'll have access to that information. You'll be able to review it kind of ahead of that initial meeting and be able to use that to your benefit. There was a question if startup businesses are eligible to apply. So to clarify, the coaching entities must have been established for 2 years to be eligible to be selected and apply for the coaching RFP for THRIVE. And we have a question: is there an estimated amount of businesses each coach or consultant will service. I'm going to focus that question to be about coaching. So for the coaching RFP and for coaching services, the Thrive program has budgeted $200,000 to serve 500 beneficiaries. So ultimately, the number of beneficiary referrals will depend on application volume from the small businesses. I believe those were the main questions. I'm going to double check if any have come in from the chat that we want to highlight at this time. We have a question that, is there a portal or system or process to schedule meetings between the coaches and the beneficiaries and the consultants? And will that be provided? So what will be provided for contractors, so both coaches and consultants, is a portal view for them that's specialized to share which small business beneficiaries have been referred to them and are in kind of their queue for completing their deliverables on those beneficiaries. So their contact information, their business assessments, all that important information will be in one centralized location for you all. In terms of the actual scheduling of meetings, we would leave that up to each coach to use their specific standard practice. I know that you all have perhaps different ways in which you coordinate with your clients already. And so that would be kind of your responsibility. And also you would be able to use your standard practice there. But in terms of having all of the information you would need in order to schedule those appointments, that would be provided through the portal. I think at this point in time, Teresa and Jamie, what I would suggest is those are the questions that we can cover in this presentation that I think are general enough to benefit everyone. But as a reminder, if there are any questions that we didn't answer, we will be publishing a fuller FAQ of questions from this presentation. And again, if you didn't have a chance to ask your question or had a follow-up question on the answers that we provided, please feel free to email us or to reach out to us through the portal. And we are more than happy to continue that conversation and provide clarity for you all. So thank you. I appreciate your time as well. I'll pass it back to you, Teresa.
Thank you, Laura. I'm going to just offer just two additional thoughts in listening to the questions. Please note that LEDC has created a very efficient process for business coaches in this, that you will be well supported in this work while still allowing your own approach to be taking place. So just know that that is kind of the philosophy of Thrive. So it's designed to help move applicants through the process efficiently. And you would be provided with a menu of those technical consultants that we've actually secured through Thrive with clarity about the services. So just want to let you know that you have all the tools at hand to do the work you need to do. And secondarily, some of you might have came to this webinar. We understand we're putting out 4 RFPs right now, and you might be interested in looking at the business consulting RFPs. Please do. Everything is in one portal for you to consider. The only difference in terms of content in our presentation, we did run a separate webinar yesterday, just focusing on the business consulting RFPs. So if you're kind of interested in that, go ahead and look. I will tell you that the philosophy of the applications is designed to be very similar. It's just asking for different pieces of information if depending on what you are seeking to support this program on, or you're interested in applying. And Jamie, I'll leave it to you to say, do you have any other comments or that you'd like to share with the group?
Thank you very much. I don't have anything specifically tailored to the RFP process. I, in closing, would simply offer, again, thanks and appreciation for your interest in the program. We're excited. We believe this is a unique opportunity for our region to engage not only business coaches, but providers of technical assistance. And again, we're very interested in continuing to field your questions and help you understand why it is we've built the Thrive program and what it is we're hoping to accomplish. So again, I will reiterate what Maria and Teresa and Laura have stated previously. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us for additional questions or clarity around anything that we've presented today. With that, I will say thank you. I hope everybody has a great weekend, and we're very interested in getting this off the ground. So in anticipation of the due date, I encourage everybody here to go to the portal, to read the RFPs, develop your questions so we can answer them as quickly and proactively as possible. And if we can get through this process, if we can build a structure around this program, I think once we launch in September, give or take, I think there are going to be a lot of members of the county small business community that want to participate and are going to be able to find value. So with that, again, thank you for your time and attention, and we'll look forward to hearing from you in the near future.